It seems like that Sony, Microsoft, and maybe Nintendo finally look into not making their games exclusive to just their platform. There are two perspectives we can observe it from, the consumer side and the business side. But when it comes down to it, which one is more important? Well, we can see that Sony actually is already slowly but surely shifting away from its exclusive point of view. We could tell that they did it for Ghost of Tsushima and some other games I could name here, but it doesn't actually matter. The point is that they are doing this at least for the PC side. At least for PC gamers, they don't want to involve the Microsoft yet, but I think if they want to have the more reach, then they definitely need to look into that as well. And since they are making their games, or some of the games already for the PC, they are actually already in that Microsoft universe. Microsoft, on the other hand, Phil Spencer, he talks open about it, and I think that's actually a very, very smart way what he does. He, well, in the beginning, there were like, okay, we make those, we buy like Call of Duty and whatever, but they talk about it very openly, and he says basically that, or he means basically that they run a business and make their games for the broad audience, which is a very, very smart way from the business perspective. And they have the other thing that they basically want to have every screen is an Xbox with their cloud gaming service, which is not quite there yet. I think cloud gaming is okay. Bitrate, different story. But why are the gamers, are they really mad about it? I keep reading comments like, well, then why should I get an Xbox, or why should I get whatever console? That's actually, in my opinion, it's actually not the point. The console is a big part of it, and if you want to have an Xbox or if you want to have a PlayStation, for me, it shouldn't matter which universe you are, as long as you can enjoy games. And I think that developers in general actually want that too. They want to make their games for a brighter audience. They need this anyway, except for like if a Sony comes down to, I don't know what they did with Black Myth Wukong. I'm not quite sure if this is true, what they did, or if it's the shared memory issue of the Xbox Series S. I doubt it. But I'm not a technical guy, so I cannot tell you anything about it. But there is the other platform, Nintendo, and they are quite unique. And I wouldn't expect like Nintendo games for all the Nintendo games they're releasing in the future. I wouldn't expect Nintendo to make it that open, because Nintendo is like a really closed environment, in my opinion. They have their own style of games. They have their own universe, basically, with Super Mario, Zelda. I don't know what else they have. Do they have Pokemon? I don't know. I think they do. Not quite sure, and I actually don't care. But they have those own platform, and we're gonna see if Nintendo actually will make their games for a wider audience. But what Nintendo does is make their platform more open to other developers. meaning that you can play The Witcher Wild Hunt on the Nintendo Switch. Whether it's a great experience or not, it doesn't matter, and I don't care, but you can use this platform to play certain titles on the Nintendo Switch. And I think this is the first step they're going to do, and I think this is a good step. And we really need this anyway, because you want to play on the go. You can buy a handheld like a Lenovo Legion Go or whatever they call. Of course, you have the Switch, and who knows what's going to happen with the Switch 2, or I don't know if that's the real name or it's going to be the real name. Maybe they just call it Swatch. So dumb. Sorry. Anyway, what are the benefits for non-exclusivity games? Well, the benefits is clearly for the gamer itself. You can decide if you are playing on PC, if you're playing on PlayStation, if you're playing on Xbox. It doesn't matter, because you can enjoy all those games on every single platform. Picture this: a lot of people, I know some people, they have the Xbox and they have the PlayStation just to enjoy both titles. But when it comes down to it, I think the PlayStation obviously has more exclusives than an Xbox has. Well, right now they have Indiana Jones, which is probably a great game. But it will come to PlayStation as well. Just a matter of time. I think I heard something about like a half year. Even if 3 months or a year, fine. I mean, they want to sell their console as well. But from what I heard is that a console itself was never the moneymaker. It never had, like, look at all the components there in it, and you get an Xbox for 500 or a PlayStation for 500, except the PS Pro. But they need to make the most of the money of selling their games. And Xbox already has like this Xbox Game Studios, which is like a big universe of games. And generally speaking, it would be just smart, even for the PlayStation, Sony especially, to maybe make Bloodborne not exclusive anymore. There are a lot of people that are into Souls games right now, and a lot of people want to play this on a PC or maybe on an Xbox or maybe even on a Switch if it's possible. I don't know. I think since Sony owns the IP of Bloodborne, they could, or they should, if to generate sales, it would be probably the smart move to do so. But the downside could be like the players or the gamers, I talked earlier about it. They have like, oh, then why should I get a console? Like, why should I get a Xbox, or why should I get a PlayStation or whatever? I think it doesn't matter. All those questions I see, and they're similar, very similar to each other. Nobody's got an answer for that. And why are you looking for an answer anyway? I mean, I stopped looking for an answer. The reason why I got the Xbox, and I came from PlayStation, why I got the Xbox is, I like the, judge me, but I like the design more. It fits better in my environment. I don't want this spacey space thing, even if it's in another box. My Xbox is in another box, and I open the box when I play a game. I could do that with the PlayStation 2, but then I started loving the Xbox because of its controller. The controller, I know the PlayStation has DualSense and whatever, but I turn off the controller vibration anyway. I don't care about that. So the DualSense was never a thing which was a hook for me. But the controller in general, from the Xbox, how the how it's formed, how it's designed, and how it's shaped, it is something which is perfectly for my hand. And I also got the Elite controller, the Core edition, the white one. I wanted to have a white controller, whatever. It fits so great, and it's probably one of the best controllers I've ever used. And I had many. I used many controllers in my life. I've been in gaming since 20 years, and I even grew up with the PlayStation 1, if you believe it or not. I think it was released in 1994 or something, 1995. My brother had it, and I used to play Crash Bandicoot. Great console, great time. Then there was a time where I switched to PC gaming because of my friends. They were all on PC and playing that Counter-Strike. I don't know if you remember. I remember Counter-Strike, and I even go to the ESL every once in a while because I live close to Cologne, and that's pretty cool. I do that with my friend quite often. Very cool. But back to the game studios and why they should. Why I think it's actually a smart thing to make their games more accessible to more platforms. Well, I work in sales, and I always understand the sales perspective. I also can understand the gamer's perspective. Then why should I get this? And an Xbox is not necessary anymore. Maybe it isn't. But I think having a console as a plug-and-play device is, for me as a casual gamer, it's the greatest thing. But for the game studios, they want to have a wider audience. They need those sales. Look, those companies are massive. They're huge. Whether it's an EA, whether it's an Ubisoft. Or some of the Xbox game design studios, whatever they call it, they're massive. And Sony with their, I don't know what they have. You know, we always complain about layoffs when it comes down to like, oh, there is a studio closure, or they get rid of 600 or 1,000 people. That is sad because, look, these maybe is a small number, 1,000 layoffs worldwide or whatever. It sounds big, but it is actually bigger than it sounds. Sorry, that's what I meant. It is bigger than it sounds. Because if you fire one person, just one person, there is the chance that you actually get rid of, like, or that this person struggles because this person has a family. And if you fire 500 people, you always have to see that there may be 500 families behind it. And when companies talk about like it's all about the people, and I heard a lot of crap during the years, even in the branch where I work, which is furniture. It's all about the people and blah, 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 blah. When they don't generate sales, they're gonna get rid of people. And it's not just the people, not just the person itself. There is a family behind it, and maybe they depend on the job, whatever it is, you name it. And this is what kind of upsets me when I hear that whoever that is, if it's Sony, if it's Xbox or Nintendo, or some of the developers for PC games, when they get rid of people, it upsets me because they maybe would have had a different chance to keep those people. Maybe some of them weren't good, maybe some of them were super good, but they had the chance. If they would make their games more open to everyone, to generate the sales. And if you generate sales, then the company is going to be healthy if it's managed well. But that's a bad thing. And if I hear that people loses their jobs about games because the studio doesn't do well, maybe those companies like Sony or Microsoft look into that as well. Maybe they look. I mean, come on. Okay, Microsoft with the Xbox, they already do that. They're pretty open about it, and I really appreciate that. It's a very, very good thing. But when it comes down to a Sony or a Nintendo, and if I hear it next time that they are gonna get rid of people, closing a studio or whatever, which only made games for their own platform, then I kind of lose trust in those companies, and I think it's generally a bad thing that companies just close their studios and get rid of people. It's not good, but that's the thing. You can see it in every single branch. You can see it in the car industry, the furniture industry. It happens right now, and it's a bad thing. But like I said, if Sony has the opportunity to make their games for more people to reach, then they would generate more sales, whether some gamers like it or not. Those some gamers, and I'm sorry, are not running this company. They are playing their games, but they're not running the company, and they're not responsible for layoffs. The gamer is actually, he needs to enjoy those games. And I think it doesn't matter which platform you should enjoy the game. But that's what I actually ask you. Which side are you on? Do you think it is generally a good thing? Keep those things in their own little environment? Or if games like, let's say Bloodborne again, should reach like on all consoles possible, on all platforms possible. Which side are you on? I know I tend towards more the business side, because I see all the people behind it. I don't just talk about it. I literally can imagine them, and I can imagine all those families depending on their jobs, or on the income, on their household, whatever. I see them, I can imagine them. And so this is the reason why I personally see it from the business perspective. Not just because I work in sales myself, but there is the other side and the gamer side. And I see people, like I mentioned earlier, who are actually mad about it. But like I said, let me know in the comments below what you think, if it's generally a good thing to make games more open or not. And now it's always the time where I say, like, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, then do that. Feel free to do so. But what I wish you is that you have the best time gaming, and see you next time.